Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode of Fangirlz Assemble. It's my fault, really. My bad. I wanted to make hot chocolate, but not like normal, just like with hot water and mix. And it was taking too long, and I was like, Elliot, can you do it for me? And he's like, I don't know. I was like, I'm late for the show because he has to do a whole bit.
Yes, the bits. I know about the bits. Boys in their
okay,
bit.
well, I'll help now. I'm like, I've already made it. He's like, yeah, 3 minutes ago you were like, it's fine, it's just me and Kristan, we don't care.
So you did the fancy way, I take it.
What's the fancy way?
You said not just with water.
Yeah, it's just with water. It's just I boiled water.
Oh, you did it with water, okay.
I should have just microwaved it. But
yeah.
Like, what would Gail Simone say? Is she's so particular about that kind of
she
stuff?
Gets microwaves?
Right? Well, she had that whole thing on Twitter about tea. With like, when do you microwave the water or boil the water? Anyways, this isn't comic book related, but
you know what is? Our great sponsor, InStockTrades.com. They're all
I've heard about them.
In fact, they had a site update, guys. Go there right now if you haven't checked it out.
You know, I saw a post about that.
You know, the best part I think about it is the wish list. You know how hard it used to be to like take things off? You hit the X, and you take so now you just hit remove, and you don't have to wait for the thing to load again. It just goes out.
The page.
Right? Because that bothered me the most. Especially now, I throw things on my wish list that go out of stock. You know, it's a whole thing.
I'm digging this.
So I haven't checked it out actually on a laptop or anything. Just my phone, because it didn't used to be mobile friendly, and now it's totally mobile friendly.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. So I don't
the
know.
Update on mobile is actually usable now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Honestly,
so that's really nice.
Fixing the wish list is everything for me because
I know.
I have to be honest with you. I love In-Stock Trades so much, and even though I was a fan of the wish list, I would have never said a word about it.
And now, they improved it. Good job. It was pretty not great. Yeah. But now it's great.
Oh, I can't wait to go in there and fix it.
I've had stuff just sitting there that I haven't fixed.
Wish lists.
Me too.
It's like online it's still just as therapeutic. So I just have so many wish lists everywhere that no one's ever going to look at or use. Ever. But I like putting them together. So people are like,
I do the same thing.
What do you want? I'm like, oh, well, lucky for you.
I have a whole list.
I have an Etsy wish list. I have an Amazon wish list. I have an In-Stock Trades. Don't worry. I got it right here for you.
Got you covered with the list. Yeah, I do the same thing.
But that's okay. It helps me know the things I want.
Yeah, I get you. I really do. Sometimes we forget, Oh,
absolutely.
But what gets me about this wish list, right? I got books I probably put on 5 years ago, and they're totally out of stock. They're not being printed anymore, and they're just sitting there because I don't want to just sit there and hit X. Okay.
Oh gosh.
X, okay. Love the whole thing. I'm like, oh.
It's easy to add a thing to your wish list, but boy,
taking it off.
Boy, howdy. If you want to take something off. Anyways.
So now I'm looking forward to fixing my wish list and buying more from them because, if you order $50 or more in the United States, free shipping, you got to do it. Tuesday, our pick of the month, that manga that I always forget the name of, A Tropical Fish Yearns for Snow, Volume 5. That's it. I got it.
That's right.
That'll be cheap, heavily discounted because we picked it. And, other things are heavily discounted there. You're going to get the best deals, best packaging. Yeah. It's the best.
All the time.
Yeah. And now we can say the wish list is the best.
Yeah. So now there's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Done.
Perfect.
It's the best. I'm surprised they had time to do this at all with everything else happening.
I know, right?
Ooh, another Cardcaptor Sakura collected edition coming out next week. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there's more Buffy stuff? Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm waiting. They're doing the hardcovers now. You got to wait.
For what? Hardcovers of what?
The Boom Buffy.
But what about but there's also these, the Legacy edition. Volume 3's coming out next week.
I don't think that's actually coming out next week.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And the Hellmouth gift set.
let me look, but I thought Chosen Ones was coming out, which I think they'll collect in hardcover.
I'll creep on it later.
I'm looking up the list. Maybe. There it is.
Yeah, Bobby, you're supposed to share your wish list with people. How are they going to know? Although, if you're like me, a lot of people in my life that would buy that kind of stuff or would buy a gift for me are like my mom. She's like, I understand that this is what you like, and I support you. And the whole costume making, sure. But I know you really want comic books, but what if close? What if close?
That's funny. My mom's the opposite. She just texted me the other day and was like, hey, send me your IST list. Come on. What are you waiting for?
That's like, I gotta tell you, like, that's like the most romantic. Like, that's the most like caring thing you can say to somebody.
It
Send
is.
me your IST
Sweet.
list.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. We're in love now? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Maddie, Kristan, I was writing out my Marvel Omnibus list for 2021. I have 21 Marvel Omnibus. I don't even have. That's more Marvel books than I own.
Tell me your whole list. I want to know it. Send us that novel comment. I got to read it now.
Hey, a sponsorship on Thin Ice right now. Listen, you know,
we said
I love IST more than anything.
Yeah,
I love IST more than other places that I've been sponsored by.
Uh-oh. I do too.
I only buy it here. Is it because it's easy and great and it's Emily? Yeah. I feel like I know her.
It also does help.
We have shirts that say that.
We really do.
Yeah.
They're also closer to us than that other place.
It feels local. It feels like a responsible eco-buy. Like, I'm like, okay, no, this is local business. Because it is. It'll
come way faster. I trust them way more. That other place we're not going to talk about has... not that we're comparing, but we are. And that shipping, I don't trust that. I really don't.
Just, oh man, some more Power Rangers coming out. Now that I'm getting into Power Rangers now, randomly.
You need it all.
I'm upset that I didn't jump in all the deluxe editions. Oh, the Horizon Zero Dawn trade's coming out. I did not know that.
I need it all.
I'll message my local comic book store.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, rambling. Nice.
Oh, perfect.
Thanks, Lionheart.
Thanks. I'm curious.
We have to know what to buy.
Yeah.
Sorry, now I've just got distracted by his upcoming books again. Like the Klaus hardcover. Okay, I gotta stop looking at it and close it. I didn't take my afternoon ADHD medication. I don't know if it shows.
We all get excited about books.
I really do. Even though I'm not buying anything right now, I'm just like... So, I'm really excited about today's picks. Especially because of, like, the theme between the both of them. Which makes me really happy. Is that these are both by Asian American creators. So, both authors and illustrators. And they're both memoirs. Although one is more heavily memoir than the other one is. Mm-hmm. It just happens to include his personal involvement with the story. And like a lot of my work recently has been about a lot of like celebration of Asian American creators. And so it's nice to have this sort of thing that matches what is happening in my own life too. So I was really excited. Which one do we want to start with?
Let's start with Almost American Girl.
Let's do it. I loved this.
So much. Oh, I loved it so much.
I love the art so much. Like, I don't know what it is about it, but the minute I opened it and the way, how full it felt and all the text and the art, I just really...
Yeah, her panel work too, just the entire way it was like laid out.
It just felt really nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
and the colors.
And all the expressions, you can tell that, like, you can tell this girl grew up on some Korean manhwa, That's what I like about it. I feel like I could really relate to her in a lot of ways. So it's about Robin Ha. She, it's called Almost American Girl. And it's a lot about her coming to Korea as like was she in high school or like about to start high school?
I think she was about to start, yeah.
As a middle schooler, she moves from Korea to Alabama. And basically kind of against her will, which is a story I hear from a lot of like younger immigrant children where they're like, yeah, my mom was like, oh, we're just going to go on a vacation to America. And then they don't come back. Like, I see TikToks about situations like this where like,
I didn't know it was that common. Yeah, that's crazy.
Because her mom like met a guy here and was kind of like sort of bringing her daughter over as like a trial to like visit and see what it was like to be with him. And ultimately, they don't get to go back. So she only brought some of her stuff. She's like, oh, I'll pick out these comics to bring with me. And she gets there. She's like, okay, it's kind of boring, but at least we get to go home. And her mom's like, psych, you live in Alabama now. This is going to be my new husband. You don't speak the language here, but here you go. And so it's all of her like going through middle school, and not really knowing English, but still dealing with like, she doesn't really fit in anywhere. And either with her like new kind of family and her new kind of like step siblings deal, and anyone at school, because she's just struggling everywhere, but she's doing her best to really try to fit in, especially when she didn't really fit in Korea either, that she felt, even though she longed to go back. And she was just a nerd like you and me. I assume you probably also relate to, I mean, I really related to a lot. Totally. I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, I loved her like interest in art, and that was clear when she was young. She ended up joining, was it an art comic specific club? Is that right? What kind of club was that? And that was really cool because she met friends and she did something that like she really wanted to do. And man, I felt for her so much, especially everything that was happening toward the beginning. Suddenly she has like so many siblings, right? Like, and she's not used to that. On top of everything else, like her living arrangement was just totally different than what she was experiencing before, let alone the culture difference.
And, exactly, because that's already hard. And I'm sure like a lot of people in the chat can relate, but like, especially if you had parents that are divorced, or you had like, a single parent or whatever, like, and having to move to a new place with a new family, new home, like that's already a shock. And she moved from like a city-ish kind of place in Korea to Alabama, where she's like, hey, I could leave and kind of be independent. And now I'm at a house with a yard and it's nowhere near anything. Like,
I just couldn't imagine that kind of, and especially you're that young and you think you're going back until you're suddenly not even being able to prepare for something like that.
Yeah, no closure.
Oh my gosh. Like there were moments where I was like crying for her when I was reading this. I was just like, man, like this is like rough. And I'm so glad it ended on a higher note, because there was a lot of struggle in this.
Yeah, and she still had to deal with some racism in school too.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, kids in middle school suck. Yeah. No matter where you are, no matter if you've always been there, no matter if you are fluent in the language, kids in middle school are the worst. And people would think in America sucks sometimes. Like they thought she was dumb because she couldn't speak English that well. And then she'd get, all the sort of like the racist eyes pulling, right? People calling Chinese, Japanese, like all of that. Oh, sorry, I'm jumping. But I really liked, and I say liked, but I thought it was hilarious and so on point that she kind of makes a friend for one night on Halloween, Diane.
Oh, yeah.
Who is obviously into like manga or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And wants to be her friend because she's never had a foreign friend before, but just does all the talking and leading her around and stuff and not really seeing what she wants to do. And I was like, that is so on point. Like that happens all the time, especially with people who like that kind of stuff. I say, knowing from experience and knowing people like that. I was like, oh no. Like, here's an Asian person in my school. We're going this way with it. Like, oh God.
Yeah, there were so many like cringy moments like that. Everything with the bullies, of course, so much in the school. I love how, this is why I love graphic memoirs, right? Like, I mean, I was going to say they're probably not always done well, but a lot of the ones, especially ones I've read this year, are done so well. Like hers, I have this one near me. The Time I Knew I Was Gay. This was so well done too. Just like specific, really heart-wrenching stories. Like she laid this out so well. I felt like I learned everything she went through in such a, again, I was just like, the whole time I felt for her, and I was so interested, and I wanted to know what was going to happen to her life. You know, clearly she's doing okay because she put this book out and it's amazing. But I'm just, after I read this, I was just like, this blew me away. I first read this in January of this year. And I was like, this is going to be, at the end of the year, one of my favorite books I've read this year. And I still feel that way because I still think about it sometimes where I'm just like, her story's so unique and it's something I hadn't read. And I think we need more out there from these sort of voices and these experiences, you know? And
I don't think anybody can relate to it. You know, with her and her mom and like that dynamic, like, you know, my mom was basically a single mom and we moved around a lot. And from, you know, differing types of places and different kind of homes and people like around us. And like, I totally know what that's like to just be in this place and be like, you're just mourning it because you cannot go back. It's not that easy to talk to people and you've got to try to find new friends and new life and you just don't know how to do it. And like, I know what it's like to be in a high school where you don't speak the language and you don't know how to communicate with people. Now, granted, I didn't have to go live there forever, but like I've been there literally. Like it was just. I mean, some good comics too. She definitely captured the adolescent immigrant experience so well that it was painful at times. I really liked how she used scribbles for words and text bubbles where she didn't understand.
Yes, I love that too. That was so well done. It really helped put us in what like she was experiencing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is a great point. That was really unique and different. I like how she did that.
Yeah, it felt very natural. It really helped you identify with her, which I appreciated. Because sometimes you, like, even people writing their own backstories, like they don't always put that kind of thing in there. But she's like, no, this is from my eyes and ears. This is what was happening to me. Jessica said, I also love the dynamic with her mom. Honestly, the chapter with her mom's backstory is my favorite part. Would read that as its own graphic novel. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. Like, and I think, wasn't there a part where her mom was kind of apprehensive about this whole thing and her story being told? But I think that's what we needed, right? Because there was so much tension with her and her mom. And I'm sure we were all feeling for Robin. So we were kind of like, oh, what's with your mom? Like, there were moments where it's like, oh no. Like, and then you got to understand it more because you got to understand her more. And I felt like we really needed that for the story.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Because, like, and I could see where that could be therapeutic for Robin as well. And that's just me reaching. But, like, because no matter what, you're going to feel something negative about it, right?
Sure.
And I think it's probably good for both of them to learn that this was an overall positive experience and learn from that together. I really did like the part, too, where towards the end when she leaves Alabama to move to LA, she's like, you know, now that I'm leaving, I see it through rose-colored glasses. This experience. I was like, that is so on. That's just exactly how it goes. Because you're like, she's miserable for a lot of it, but now she's gone. She's like, okay, there was a lot that was really good here, and I'm gonna miss it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if you said that in the middle of that, you're like, no.
Well, even, you know, we're all like hating school, but there are certain aspects I'm sure we're all like, okay, if we could redo that. Or like even go back and just experience it again. There's certain things we miss about it. Like, I love that. I love that she put this together and like her mom got to read that too.
Yeah.
You know, because it's exactly what you said. I'm sure that was really therapeutic for both of them to know like how that was for her. And, you know, vice versa. I'm sure they had conversations that we'll never know about, but I would read a whole book about that.
Yeah, I would too. And again, it's just, I don't know, it's nice to read. This was a great story. It was easy to go through, and it just, I think you know, if you read it, it's going to hit you regardless of where you come from.
Absolutely, and I think if you haven't read any story like this, or not a lot of graphic memoirs, or you know, any Asian authors, like you can really broaden your horizons with this. Try to understand people more, no matter who you are, where you're from. It did really, like, it opened my eyes to a lot that I wouldn't have known because that's not my experience, you know?
Yeah.
It definitely made me want to read everything she ever does from now on. Like, I'm totally a huge fan of hers now.
And from the minute I opened it, I was like, I'm good. I'm in love.
Yeah.
The whole style of it, I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
Robin, I just think you're so cool.
Yeah. And I love seeing her, like, when she was young at this, like, comic club, like, drawing these comics. And I'm like, I know that you did this book. Like, that's great that, like, you did it, you know? Oh.
Thank you.
We can even see his head.
Well, I told her that I moved the place, the Power Rangers helmet in there, so that way if he needed to bring me something.
Mm. Well, I could see that it was there, but I only saw like this down.
So this is dying. So I'm just playing around. I'm still here.
Oh, and Moose is still here.
He is.
Hi, Moose. How you doing?
I don't want to be in here, obviously, with the lead.
Yeah, he does look like sad about it.
All right,
Poor
we're set.
Moose. Yay.
Okay.
Yeah, Jessica mentions the acknowledgements in the back. Yeah, I was going to say, I thought that she mentioned talking to her mom about all of this at the end, which was really good. Really well done at the end.
Bobby says, I'm half Korean, so I should probably check this book out. Already harkens back to some of my childhood. I bet you'd like it, Bobby. I think anybody would like it, personally. But
I agree. Super well done.
We tend to have a similar taste, you know? Kenna says, I'm looking to get into more indie comics. I may start with Paper Girls and work my way up. Paper Girls is a great one.
It's a good one. Yep.
I know this is off topic, but I got Phil Jimenez's Wonder Woman Omni, so I'm thinking of Batman HC. I bring this up because Target is having a buy two, get one free on all books, even ones that haven't been released. Yeah, I've been hearing about that from people.
Yeah, I just had
buying ban.
Reed just dropped off some buy two, get one free books for me. No one cares about them, though. They're not comics. It's fine.
I care, except I'm not going to read... I'll continue buying regular books and then not taking the time to read them.
I do that all the time. It is still sitting there because I'm scared.
Well, I mean, same with me in like what is it? Mexican Gothic, which I definitely want to read. But
me too, though. I'm like, I just like, we were like, we gotta. And it's like, oh, I gotta read all this other stuff for these shows, you know? You know.
Yeah, I'll just keep saying when this happens. Like when I move and I have a designated reading area.
Well, you let me know when you're reading it, and I'll let you know when I'm reading it. So one of us will start it.
Yeah, and that's all it takes.
The other one will have to grab it so we can talk about it together.
I'll have FOMO. Like, well, if Kristan's doing this thing, I have to do it.
And I'll feel that too. I'll be like, oh, Maddie started it. I got it now.
Yeah. So our next book is Dragon Hoops.
Yeah.
Which I got mine from the library, but luckily it's, even though there's a little bit of like the plastic over it that they do for such jackets, I can still feel the basketball feel in the book.
Oh, yeah. And then under it, it's shiny.
Oh, man. I can just peek at it.
Naked. Yeah.
But this is my second book by him that I've read, because I read Superman Smashes the Klan, which was amazing.
So good. And I hate Superman. But it was so good. So good.
And this, you bought this earlier, so I don't know if you'd read this earlier or if this is your first time.
Yeah, I read it a few months ago. But it stuck with me.
And yeah, this was like I don't know what I was expecting from this, which is nothing really. But it surprised me a lot, so I'm glad I didn't look up anything about this. Because it centers around Gene Young, and he is like a teacher and a comic book artist and writer. Because he had written like the book about the Boxer Rebellion a while back, and he was kind of in like a rut. He's like, well, I don't know what else to write. And he teaches something at the high school. I forgot what. Is it math?
I believe it's math, yeah.
And he hears everybody talking about the basketball team, that they're good. He's like, okay, I'm going to check it out. And then like inspiration strikes. He tells his wife, like, I mean, you know, sometimes it just hits you and you just got to go for it. Also, I love his wife. because she's supportive the whole time. He's like, I don't know.
Oh, she was so great. Yeah. Here's him talking to the coach of the basketball team in the beginning.
Which I love because he's like, I don't know how to talk to you.
Yeah,
Hi.
Yeah. I love his depiction of himself, and I'm just taking a moment to appreciate his art because I love his art. It's so clean and cartoony, and the colors are perfect. It's just so well done. He really nails it.
Yeah. Man, I'm trying to read the best way to describe this because he just basically like tags along with this basketball team at his high school and does kind of like he divides chapters almost like by people mostly and then later it's like by games itself, you know? And so he does like profiles on like the coach and different players and other people involved, and then does like some basketball history thrown in there and everything else, either with the high school or whatever. And it's really neat because he does these really good, well-rounded views of all these people in the team. And they've got a pretty diverse team too, because you've got like, you know, you've got your black players on the team. You've got, I don't know where he's from, but he's Arab.
Yeah.
And then you've got like an actual guy from China, Zhao, who he does like, you know, even though he's a limited Mandarin, right? He does like notice the different things that Zhao is like versus the other teammates. And that was really cool to see.
Yeah, it was a fascinating deep dive into this high school team that I never thought I would give a crap about. Honestly, I was just like, you know, because I didn't know what to expect really either. I just knew I liked him.
We're not sports people.
No, I don't care about basketball.
This is the second basketball thing I've read in the past couple of weeks.
Me too. I read the Avant-Gardes because I love it. And I'm like, why do I care so much?
Yeah.
But on top of it, this isn't even a fictional team, but I was giving a crap the whole time. I was like, I want them to win. I cared, you know?
I really care about them. I like their dynamic. And here's the whole team lined up, which is cool. Like, how cool is it for them? I wonder if they all like bought the book after. I wouldn't. I've been like, oh my God.
I was just thinking that would be like the coolest thing. But yeah. He does do a deep dive on all the players and the games and the coach and the history of them at the school. And even getting into like some shady stuff with some of the teachers and like some things that he was like, I didn't even know if I should put in this book, but I am. And that was
appreciated.
Yeah.
Because like they had the Coach Phelps there that he kept saying, and he would give us little hints, right? He's like, I'm not putting him in the book. I'm not talking about it. I'm not putting the book. Or he'd be like, oh, there he is. I'll put this in the book, but I'm not taking notes because he's not in the book. But then later he finally, you know, even though his wife's like, you don't have to. He's like, well, no, he's a part of it. And I need to give the story to it. Unbiased, here it is. Here's what people have said. Here's what the people I've talked to have said. Here's the situation, which I really appreciated. Because, like, that's a hard decision to make.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he did. I think some people would have read that, and if you'd left that stuff out, they'd been like, "Okay, what about our experiences?" Yeah, you want to glorify this team and talk about this team and sort about the coach, but not mention.
If he would have left that out, yeah. So there were some like big allegations against this coach. If he would have left that out, it definitely would have been like, "Oh, well, you definitely think a certain way about this. Like, you definitely think that this didn't happen or did like you think a certain way," and that's clear. So I love how he depicted that and like talked about it. Like you see him struggling with that in the book, and that was really uniquely done too, right? Because like I've read a lot of nonfiction comics, and usually you don't get that sort of perspective of like the person even talking about creating the thing, right?
Which I really liked because you see that in a lot of podcasts and like documentaries and stuff. And often I really appreciate that. I like knowing about the person making it too. And I think that really helped me relate because, you know, at the same time that he's looking at this basketball team, he's also talking about his current life where he's trying to balance a lot of things too. Because he's in between books, he's starting this one, and he's already having difficulty balancing his time. He keeps bringing back this like pie chart.
Yeah, where he's got a family.
Take care of family comics. Like that's the thing. And, you know, halfway through this, he gets a call from DC about writing Superman. And he's like, oh, I'm really excited. His wife's like, you got to do it. This is Superman. It's like, yeah, but like, I'm already going to games and doing this. and like, you know, comic books, and like I need to spend time with you and be a dad. And she's like, don't, this is DC. This is Superman. You've got to do it, which kind of gives you foreshadowing because I mean, I don't know about you, but I was like, oh, he's going to,
Yeah.
he's going to simplify the pie. Because at one point he's talking to the coach and the coach almost like, I think he like does the thing where he hands it to him or something where he simplifies it for him, where it's like comic books and family, half and half.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, so he's going to quit at the end, which makes sense. He's been at the school for 19 years, which also makes sense. Like, he's been working. Totally. He's a family man, he's been doing this for so long, and now he's full on comics, which is, I know a lot of people that end up doing that. Kyle is one of them.
Yeah, and that's a huge decision to make because, like, it's a big risk, too. So he was just kind of like, I don't know what to do here. I have this full-time job I've had forever, and I do love this job. But then I want to write Superman, right? And with that schedule, he could not do both, plus have a life with his family.
And plus finish this book, because all the time he'd be like, well, I'll do this family thing tonight, but then the basketball stuff would happen. And
and this is quite a beefy book.
It's thick.
Over 435 pages. Yeah. Quite thick.
And I'm glad it was, because he takes time with each of these people he's talking about. Yeah. You really get to know them, which is really cool.
And he did a great job of, at the end, sourcing everything. So like Panama actually went through this because I was interested in like what actually happened. He even explained like why he drew certain people the way he did, to, you know, make sure they're different than the other people, or like, oh, his hair is not really like this, but I had to do it because of this reason. Like, it was kind of just fascinating. Or like, I paraphrased
had this. That conversation with man, I want to actually say his name. Where's that picture of the whole team? No.
I'll try to find it too.
I feel like I'm doing injustice by just saying like, there he is. Jeevan, I don't know, but because he said, you know, like, I want to draw you well, but if I do this straight across, I feel like you're looking more like the caricature than like how you actually look, and you know, you're not distinguishable from other people on the team.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
I thought that was a cool kind of like, I don't know, not like fourth wall, but I like that he brought that in there.
Yeah, I feel like I learned more about comic making just reading this, you know, which was fascinating. Plus all the notes at the end, it was like really, really interesting to know how he did this and what kind of he had embellished some things, and he talked about those things specifically. It was just really well done.
Oh, yeah, and had those conversations too with like his wife and other people. She's like, comics aren't real. You can do it's okay. Yeah. And sometimes like to Coach Phelps, he's like, well, no, like this is kind of I don't want it to be like this, which was really nice. Jessica's over here raving in the chat. Even having loved Superman Smashes the Klan and really digging the American-born Chinese, I would not have normally picked this book, but man, I love the hell out of this. Sam.
And I'm glad you did. Yeah, definitely.
And I'm going to read American-born Chinese next. Bobby said that Jess also recommended American-born Chinese, and Bobby thought it was fantastic. I think Yang is working on the new Shang-Chi series for Marvel right now. That's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It really tackled so many themes while having a fun, engaging narrative style, breaking the fourth wall, teasing his wife like when he does, or like when he notes she's watching K-dramas, the history of basketball chapters. I never realized how American basketball was, not as in it was invented here, but how it moved and evolved throughout history, directly related to these American experiences. Yeah. He tied in so well.
And that's a great point, right? Because like I still really don't give a crap about basketball. But you'd think if it's like, if you told me, hey, there's like a whole section on the basketball history in here, and you're going to have to read it all, I would have been like, oh, dear Lord. Like, I would have not been excited about that. But I cared. I was reading it. I was interested. I was like, oh, he's making this very interesting. And why do I give a crap about basketball? Like, just, you know, he has a way of making you care about everything he put in here.
I want to see if I can push this book to communities in our state, because people don't know about Kentucky's like really, really. I mean, like all places are big into basketball. That is true with a lot of places. Kentucky literally only has college basketball. That's it. Everything else, it's big here.
Huge. Yeah.
I bet I could get them with this.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think Jessica can attest, but I think I make it work.
Yeah.
Mary, I missed you,
Hi, Mary. Mary's the best.
Mary's the best. But man.
Yep. So we read 2 great books, guys, and if you haven't read them, clearly, what are you waiting for? We hope basketball again. Why am I caring about basketball? But I love this.
I kind of feel like this has been a little bit of the. This is like I have enjoyed a few different basketball media this year, which is weird because I read this. I read Old Head.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It does have basketball in it.
Yeah, but that's true. I cared about his basketball career too.
I watched all of Save the Last Dance. Not Save the Last Dance. The Last Dance.
I was gonna say, isn't it? Yeah.
Not Save the Last Dance.
Yes, so many people cared about that. Yeah, the Michael Jordan. Yeah.
It's like an anime, Kristen. You would love it.
I know. I do want to try it out.
Right. I can't explain
which I never thought I'd say. But I kept hearing everyone talk about it. They're like, well, I don't even care about it.
I was like, I'll just try it. And then I'm addicted.
Yeah.
I really care about Michael Jordan. It's an anime. The shit that happens in it.
It's an anime.
Somebody needs to make a comic or something. I'm sure they have, but like, fix it. Make a new one. You know?
Fix it.
Yes, but it seems that most people who are not into sports really enjoy sports manga for whatever reason. And that's so...
Yeah. I mean, not even just manga. Like, because I'm telling you, the avant-gardes, I care about every game they play. And that's a Boom comic. But yeah, you're right. Like,
you're Jessica, don't worry. Kristen's answering questions.
Don't worry. I love it so much. Yes.
Yeah, it's really good.
And I believe it ended with this last OGN that recently came out. So there's 3 volumes. It's not that big of a commitment. I love the characters. It's great.
Elliot says Michael Jordan is my husband. Love you. But man, yeah, I really, really liked it. And also, like, he did a great job illustrating the games too. That's not easy. That's really not easy.
And even for him, like, he admits in this, he's like, sports is not my thing either. I had to like learn stuff, which was, maybe that made it like really relatable to me too. Cause I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know everything that, I probably know as much as he did. Right. But yeah, like the games were like very well done. I love how he did the shot clocks and stuff.
It was super digestible.
Yeah. It was, and especially again, if you don't care or you don't even know what's going on, come on, look at that. You care about that.
Well,
yeah.
Look how cute. How is that panel right there where he's like cheering on as if he's watching it live, but he's not?
Yeah. Yeah, he was just like watching a tape of it. I love that. So and I love how he got into it.
Yeah.
So the more he got into it, the more I got into it too. I was living through his excitement.
Which was great. You get attached to these people, which is what works. Like,
yeah.
That's how sports anime gets me, is because I get to the players. Because otherwise, it's just me watching a game, and I'm like, there are just dots running, and I know the ball is here, and now it's over there. That's all I got.
And that's the big difference, right? Because he did a deep dive on all of the people, so you care about them, and then you're going to their games. And same with like avant-gardes, they did a great job of like, here are your characters, here are their identities, and like what they like, and here are all the things, and then they come together, and then you're like, yes, win all the games. Like Fence does a great job at the same thing, right? Because like you care about the characters, they do the duels, and you're like, why do I care about fencing right now? Like, it's great.
It's so good. Man, I gotta write. There's a manga I need you to read. I was thinking about today because I started watching the Queen's Gambit, which is like a fictional story about this young girl that ends up becoming a chess champion or something, and she's from Lexington, Kentucky, which is cool.
Oh,
yeah, that's where it's set.
That's
she wins
fun.
the Kentucky State chess tournament. But I kept watching and thinking about the manga Chihaya Furu, which they play this card game thing where like someone will read a poem and you have to hit the next like line they're going to read on it, but you don't know which one's going to be. She's the first couple syllables. I'm sure I've talked about it. It's my favorite.
I probably
hit the cards really dramatically. And so it's put together like a sports manga, but it's a tabletop.
I mean, that's fun. Game. I'm into it.
And it is wonderful. You would love it.
I'm in.
And you get into it, like, okay, we're gonna practice. Not only do they have to like listen, but they gotta like work on their body and like do
fascinating. That's fun.
Bobby asks, "Hey, Kristen, I'm also very non-sportsy. I've heard there's lots of hockey in Essex County. Were you fine with it the same way as Young's basketball?"
Yeah, 100%. The thing about Essex County is, yeah, there's hockey because it's in Canada. And one of the main characters is a hockey guy.
Well,
but
I want to read Essex County now.
I thought you did. Did we not do this?
Did we read Essex County?
I thought we did a whole episode about it.
We did, and I just fucking forgot.
Sure we
I'm
did.
going to feel very embarrassed.
I think we did. But yeah, Essex County, you care so much about the characters and the town. And yeah, there just happens to be a sprinkle of hockey in there.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah, I thought we did. Yeah.
Never mind. I like that.
But yeah, it's so great, Bobby, and you should read it because it's fantastic.
Plus Lemire art. I'll find a bit down
and
there.
Essex County is my favorite. You know, everybody already knows. I got the tattoo. Come on, you got to read Essex County. I love it.
Let's just pretend like I didn't forget.
It's okay.
Well, if I saw the art.
We read a lot of books, you know?
Which is great. Read this on the heels of Green Lantern Legacy. Loved it. Also featuring an Asian American family in Oakland, and it was so good. Cannot recommend enough. The best DC book, DC kids book for sure.
I also very much enjoyed it. Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh man. And Man Voice says, "Yeah, I think the sports manga do a good job of delving into the background of each character. It's almost like the sport aspect takes a back seat, but you just learn about the sport as a byproduct." Yeah, and that's what I like.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Well, even with and I've said it a million times, but like action comics and stuff, if I don't get to know the characters, I don't care about this.
Yeah.
Which is, again, let's go back to Hick Adventures. It was all just like a big event that I didn't care about because guess what? We didn't really get to know the characters. There was just no character growth there.
Yeah.
So I didn't care. That's how I felt about that. I need characters. That's what I need.
Once you get somebody hooked, that's why you do the goofy stuff.
Mm.
That's why, the superheroes going to get some lunch at Arby's. Or something.
Gotta stop at the store for apples. Yeah.
They want to go to the pumpkin patch. We gotta see everything like this.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what makes me relate to them and care.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm like, oh, then I'm invested in your cosmic dilemma.
Then you can go save the world.
Yeah.
But I want to know about you first. I want to know your hopes and dreams and your feelings. And I want to see you go to the store and get an apple, okay?
You just show up and you fight stuff real good. I mean, good for you.
Yeah. I'm happy for you or whatever. But what's your struggle?
Yeah. In the Wonder Woman movie, she had ice cream and she really liked it. That was enough.
That's what you need. Yeah. Because that's relatable.
Yeah.
We all love ice cream. Yes. Also, love pants.
Love that.
Come on. This is what our show's about.
Oh man, it's so good. Kristen, I used to not be a fan of Supes, but read Superman Secret Origins by Jeff Johns. If you just like the book by the end, that's fine, but it changed my mind about him. He's meant to inspire everyone.
Well, I've said it before. I am open to reading Superman stuff. I have to let other people direct me on that. Yeah. I don't have high hopes, but that's fine. I'm open to it. I'm not saying it's the end all be all. May not be right, but still right now. I still read Superman Smashes His Clan and I loved it. But hey, that's a one-off, right? And that's why those DC young adult and kids line is so good. Because Green Lantern too, I'd never experienced Green Lantern, but I love that kid, right? Mm-hmm. So they made me care about those characters, but I know that's not the rest of the world and the stories, unfortunately.
I love one-offs.
Yeah.
Although I really do like Superman Rebirth. I did like that a lot, but I've never read any other ongoing Superman, so I can't even for that. I've read only Rebirth stuff, and then one-offs like Superman for All Seasons or Superman Birthright or whatever. It's all been or it's a bigger event. But I don't care about New 52 Superman because he's not a dad. And he wants it.
Yeah, I mean, I love Super Sons, so I do love that.
Oh, see, that's what I was like. Make him a dad. They're all dads.
Yeah.
Done.
I still cared about his kid way more, but
make them dads, make them parents. I'm in. Done.
Give them all dad bods. Come on.
Yeah.
That's a relatable Superman.
Well, I don't mind that he's like this, but
No, I know. I'm
I
joking.
like when he has a beard. I'm like, okay, he's
Sure.
doing it a little bit.
He didn't shave today. It's fine.
Yeah. I want real male bodies in DC and Marvel comics.
We sure don't see
Male
it.
body diversity. Give it.
Yeah, they're bad at it.
Thor doesn't need abs.
No.
Liking. Come on.
I mean, we almost got that in the movie, right? But they kind of didn't do it well.
I know.
That's a bummer.
I thought it looked great.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
Sorry, we'll defend everything. Kristan and Maddie want diverse bodies in film and comic books.
No,
What's next?
that's how we get our thumbs down. We say
That's
stuff
for
like that.
taking
They're like,
over.
no, we can't handle it. Yep.
I'm sorry. I crack myself up. I know we're not funny.
How dare you? How dare you? We are hilarious.
Lionheart recommends All-Star Superman. Yeah, I do like All-Star Superman.
People do love it.
And honestly, you just watch the movies too.
Which I haven't seen any of those. None of them.
If there wasn't a pandemic and we didn't live 3 hours away from each other.
I
Because
know,
I've got
right?
all of them. Or we
Yeah.
watched Lego Batman. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I stand by that. It's the best one. Well, Kristan, what's new?
Well, I'm trying to see if I missed a comment.
Okay, there are a bunch.
I mean, I think Mary said we officially love sports. It's time to embrace it. I mean, is it?
Yeah, but am I going to watch sports?
No. Sometimes I have to, and it's not great.
So,
Yeah, I know. It's not good.
I just have to know the score sometimes because that's how networking happens here in this state.
Yeah,
Gotta-
and at work I hear all about Kentucky basketball constantly.
Yeah, imagine being here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm sure that's all you hear.
Yeah. Oh, nice. I'll pick the Royal City Hearthstone on my LC.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Good.
Kristan.
Also, I love your avatar. Can we just talk about that?
Look at that.
So good.
Oh, what a good cat.
So good.
Aw.
I hope you love it, and I love it
He's
so much.
still waiting on a Junji Ito manga remake of Gremlins because he thinks he should remake Gremlins, which honestly he could do it.
I mean, that would be cool. He would kill it. See, that's one like we're like no longer human. No, adapt Gremlins. That sounds better. I 100% can get behind that.
Ignore that other stuff.
Yeah, the other that parent masterpiece. I don't know about that, but this. Ooh, oh,
Think about it.
oh. Ghostbusters.
But yeah, still make it like an anthology though. Have just like a sliver of an ongoing story, but like Uzumaki level, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then just deal with different types of like monstrosities.
I love
and
it.
feels more separate, like a Monster of the Week show.
I love it. Yes. Okay, let's call him. Anybody have his number?
Anything can happen.
You have to.
The
Yeah,
world's
that
in a
would be
better
awesome.
place.
Yeah.
Slightly, currently, right now, I can
Kind of.
breathe.
Yeah.
Maybe this can happen. A lot of things happened this week.
Let's hope for the
Apparently.
best. Yeah, there's a lot going
I
on.
was spoiled on everything immediately as it happened. Okay, this happened on Supernatural. You haven't watched it since season 7, but we're gonna let you know what happened immediately. I'm like, what happened? What is this? This My Hero Academia spoiler? You know it now. What?
Oh. What's spoiling you? Is it Twitter
There's
or
Twitter and TikTok, because like
Ah.
everyone's like, I have all this crazy stuff happening. It's when Pennsylvania flipped. Pennsylvania flipped, and then around the same time, the Supernatural series finale happened, and a thing happened there,
Mhm.
which I'm happy to talk about off screen. And there was a thing happened on My Hero Academia that was a big deal. I guessed it like 2 years ago. I'm not surprised, but whatever. And then like a couple more things got like announced, like a new Sherlock season apparently, and like something else. I was like, what? I was like, all of these things are happening.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, definitely don't do the Supernatural thing on air because my parents are currently going through all of Supernatural and they would lose their minds if they were spoiled, I think. So,
First 5 seasons. And then
yeah.
stop.
I don't know where they're at, but they're deep.
First 5. Perfect. Perfect. Man, Eric, I can't think about that without being sad. I'm a huge Silent Hill fan. Huge. When PT happened, I was like, yes. Beautiful. And then it was all taken from me because Konami hates me personally. They hate me and Silent Hill and Suikoden. Oh, don't worry. I would never spoil it for you. I'll just say a thing happened. Because I don't even know the extent to which it happened either. I'm not gonna... It wasn't the series finale? Oh. Okay. Weird.
Yeah, I don't know, honestly. I knew it was coming just because of what I have to deal with at work, but that's all.
Well, we're getting close to time. Again, sorry that I was late. Our next show is when?
I think that's what I tried to say last time when I thought it was today.
Because it's not going to be the...
not the 15th, the 22nd.
22nd. Okay, so our next 2 shows are the 22nd, the 29th.
Yeah.
So because there's like 5 Sundays this month, we had to move things. So on the 22nd, we will be back to talk about Promise Neverland, which I'm ahead of the game for that one.
And I've now finished, so...
Ooh, girl. And Chainsaw Man. So I have to figure out where to read that. Is that on?
Shonen Jump.
Okay, sweet.
I've been reading... I'm just going to tease. Here's a tease. I've been reading it. I was reading it in bed last night. Everyone was like, what are you reading? And I was like, it's this guy, right? And he turns into a chainsaw. Like a chainsaw comes out of his head and like his arms are like chainsaws. And, and I'm like trying to explain it. And he's like, this sounds awesome. And I'm like, okay, you got to read it then. So I love how we have a very good dynamic for that show, I think, because you got Promise Neverland full of heart and children and things are happening, right?
And then you're like, here is dude that chainsaw. He chainsaw so good. His head, his arm, all chainsaw. All of them chainsaws.
Chainsaw Man. I gotta tell you though, I'm laughing a lot throughout it. It's quite funny. It's so insane. So I think it was a good pick.
Probably gonna read all too much ahead of time and be like, I caught up.
Yeah. I'm kind of doing that right now. I'm like, okay.
I need more Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what was that date? The 22nd, we'll be back with Promise Neverland, Chainsaw Man. And the 29th, we will have DC Bombshells.
It's happening.
It's for you,
It's happening, Jessica. Yeah.
You're cracking yourselves up, cracks me up. Oh, Bobby.
Oh, good. So happy to...
that we just look delirious and not funny. But if you enjoy it.
We appreciate everyone in the chat. Lionheart, yes.
Everybody's telling me to read Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I've heard it's good. I heard the Transformers books. There's a couple of series that I hear are really good, but I don't have a lot of investment in. I watched the movies when I was a kid, and that's it.
So Reed has these. Not all of them. He's up to 5. This is 5. And I've been meaning to read them because he's like, they're so good. I have no investment in the characters either. But I've heard so much about this particular series that I'm interested in. These are really nice hardcovers. Come on.
They are really nice.
Those. Beautiful.
Well, if you ever decide to read it, I'll read it.
That's what it takes, right?
Yeah, that's it.
You let me know, I'll let you know.
Into the office, it's happening.
That's great.
Man, so funny. Oh, I picked up books.
Oh, tell us.
Oh man, it's just far away enough. I picked up Dracula Motherfucker, which I pre-ordered, but you said was just okay, but I already pre-ordered it.
I'm curious what you think, because maybe you'll like it. I think Erica's art was very good.
Yeah.
It's just so short that I felt like nothing really happened, personally.
And I picked up one of those like DC Giant comic books or whatever, because it was tiny. I've never
fun.
picked up one of those before, but it has like a few different short stories in it, just as like a little treat because I was at my local comic book
Yeah.
store. So.
I like getting those when I'm at shops and stuff because it's like that's what really supports them. So good job, Maddie. Way to support.
I mean, I got $5 off, so technically it was like free because of my rewards. But
Oh, fancy.
ours
So
have the
fancy.
rewards. They're great.
Yeah. Ours sure doesn't.
And a board game club. It's like
Oh.
I don't know how they're making money because it's like $20 a year, and you get like 15% off pre-orders and 10% off board games all year.
Oh,
I should
wow.
pay $20. I make that money back so fast.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really awesome.
So good.
Good for them.
I know. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah, we did it. Check out instocktrades.com. Remember the wish list is great. Remember that. And also Tuesday, we're going to have that manga, a discount. Should be on the front page for you.
All right. Well, you'll see you guys in a couple weeks.